Hello, and thank you for joining the session entitled UP1 Successes, Gaps, and Next Steps in Transitional Housing Models for 2SLGBTQ plus Youth. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that I am joining from the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe. I very much hope that our words and actions today can foster a better understanding of how we can support Indigenous sovereignty as settlers on this land and how we can work to create new relationships with the original peoples of this land based in honor and respect. I'm going to ask that attendees pose your questions in the Q&A, as the chat function will likely not be monitored during this session. I'd like to introduce our incredible speakers for the session. I will start with Dr. Alex Abramovich, who is a scientist at the Center for Addiction and Mental Health and an assistant professor at the University of Toronto, followed by Alex Chung, who is the Director of Programs, Employment and Housing for Blue Door Support Services, Francesca Lafreda, who is a peer mentor for Blue Door Support Services Inclusion Program, which is a program providing supportive housing for up to 4 2SLGBTQ2 plus youth at risk of or experiencing homelessness in York Region. And Emmanuel Mahmoud, who is a former YMCA Sprott House participant. He is 24 years old and a refugee claimant in Canada, currently working as a PSW and hoping to become a nurse and social worker. And lastly, of course, Claire Nobbs, who has 20 years of experience working with 2SLGBTQ plus youth, collaboratively developing culturally relevant and responsive programs for some of the most marginalized people and communities. And with that, I would like to start with Dr. Alex Abramovich, who is going to open up the session.